Good morning, everybody. Excuse my voice a little bit. My voice is actually okay. I'm just stuffed up, all this pollen. Let's see who made it in. I was in talking with you guys earlier. Hi, Kiki. How are you? Hi, Alicia. Nana Banana made it in. Hi, Cassie. Wist is in. Wist said Letecia gives me nightmares. She does me too. She does me too. Hey, Corey, what's up? Mama B made it in. Yeah, it's insane. It is absolutely insane. I'm glad when I put the post up yesterday on the community tab for members, I said, what do you guys want to talk about tomorrow? I said, yeah, let's do a recap because there's been so much to absorb the last 2 weeks. And no way in this show can I get through all of it. No way. I just grabbed a few highlights. Of course, I'm going to put the link up. Hey, Nini. Oh, Kat. Kat just gifted 5 memberships. Good. Thank you, Kat. If you were lucky enough to grab one of those memberships, check the expiration date, and that way you will know when to renew it. Magenta said, I'm loving this. Me too. Oh, you've got your t-shirt on, Magenta. I love it. Absolutely love it. Wow, this has been a lot. Now, going through listening to the trial, it is what it is. They're telling us this is American democracy. This is American justice. They are laying it out piece by piece. And it seems a little, I don't know, like mundane sometimes, but they have to water it down. They have to make sure nothing is missed. And they are turning over every stone for sure. Thank you, Comrie's mom. They're just going by it piece by piece by piece. Because I know I've seen a couple of comments and I agree. They're like, cut to it already. What is really bizarre about this trial, this isn't about guilt or innocence, which is crazy because even for Letecia, she's owning it. Is she crazy or not? I think she's batshit crazy. The judge summed it up the other day. Legally, is she legally crazy? I think she's crazy. I don't think she's not culpable, though. I think she knew exactly what she was doing. I think she had it planned. I think she's a narcissist. I think she's a psychopath. She had the perfect setup for someone like her. She's crazy. She has to be in control of everything. And so let's look at it this way. This is the control she had. Look at Magenta taking control of the super sticker. Thank you, Magenta. This is the control she has. She's married to Al. She's in control of his 2 children. The home, she takes care of the bills. So his money. He is out of town a lot. A lot. Her relationship with her daughter Harley is more of a gal pal type of situation. She is more of a confidant than a daughter. Harley has said before, years ago, about 3 years ago, oh my gosh, my husband's in here gifting memberships. Thank you, honey. Years ago, Harley said that she never thought for a minute that her mother did this because her mother never even spanked her. Now think about that. She brutally murders Gannon, but never even really disciplined her own child. How does that make any sense? Not that I want Harley to be a victim of child abuse, or Lena. But Letecia is the air traffic controller. OJ got a super sticker. Look at that, Carol Claus. $10. Thank you, Carol. OJ will have that spent in a minute. So Letecia is the air traffic controller. She's the victim or the hero in every situation. She's the hero because, her own words, I'm taking care of these kids because their mother doesn't want to. She's a victim when she makes up insane stories like she was sexually harassed at Al's unit. But then she's a hero and a sympathetic hero when she goes to Al and says, "Look at me, I'm having twins." And he's like, "What?" It's one thing to say, "I'm pregnant." It's a totally different thing to say, "I lie about it." But she can't just tell a simple lie. She's like, "Twins, I'm having twins." It's one thing after another with her. So Gannon's mother, Landon, lives in South Carolina, along with all of Letecia's family. So she can keep them up to date on what's going on, and all they hear is her side of it. She has everything controlled. Something set her off, and I don't think it was that damn candle. Jesse said, "Did Gannon's mom share custody with Al?" Yes, they had shared custody. Still do, because he has Lena. I just don't know how they had it broke up. If the kids would go to South Carolina for the summers, if they would swap off holidays, I don't know. I have no idea. Tiffany said lies, 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 lies. Yes. That's all she knew to do. She's no victim in my book. Think about it. The morning of the murder, before she had gotten up the nerve to murder Gannon, she is texting a former boss. She didn't work with this person anymore. And she says, "My stepfather was ran over by a car. I won't be into work today." Her stepfather was hit by a car years ago. She didn't even have that job. She can't even simply say, "Gannon's sick, I won't be in." Or tell Al, "Well, I'm not working right now, so it won't be a big deal for me to stay home." But that wasn't what was going on. I know a lot of people say Al should have seen the red flags. There's no way he couldn't have known. It's just my opinion that the abuse of Gannon was heaped on when he was not home. I think Lena's testimony is going to be really important. Really important. Lena was talking with detectives really early on. I mean, just days in, hours in. And something as simple as Letecia sent her outside to ride her bike. It's not that she couldn't see Gannon. It's not that she couldn't go in Gannon's room. She couldn't even be inside the house. So she sends her outside January in Colorado Springs. I don't know what the temperature was, but she has to be outside. Would it have been a big deal for Lena to see Letecia cleaning? I wouldn't think so. She's just cleaning, right? I think she was finishing what she did. That's what I think. She couldn't have her in the house. That is a huge, huge thing. Obviously, Letecia was telling Al there were problems at the house because he suggested, and they did, they put the kids in counseling. They didn't put Letecia in counseling, but the kids, because of what they had gone through with their mother. That came out in trial too. For the last 3 years, we've heard that the kids weren't with Landon because she has high-risk pregnancies, which she does. She was ill, which she did get ill. But it came out in trial, and it has been rumored for years, but the trial is different because now we have the facts that Al got custody of Gannon and Lena because of drug abuse. He has these kids. Okay, so we know that Al isn't just going to turn a blind eye because he didn't do it before. So he's certainly not going to turn a blind eye to Letecia abusing Gannon and Lena. He didn't do it before. Why would he do it now? That's just my opinion. And it wouldn't take 2 seconds to pull the rug out from under her. She's stepmom. She has no rights to him. None. None at all. He also still has custody of Lena. It's, he cooperated with the authorities He was recording phone calls between himself and Letecia. Do you think he would have taken that gamble if he was complicit in Gannon's abuse, or if he was neglectful in Gannon's abuse, or if he had an idea it was going on but decided to do nothing about it because he had a babysitter and a housekeeper? I don't think he cared. Because at any time she could have slipped as being recorded and said, Al, you knew that this was going on, or you knew this, or you know what I'm saying? She could have slipped and said anything that would have had the heat on him. And they did investigate Al. They did. And you have Lena's testimony, which I think is going to be brutal. Lena wouldn't have known because kids don't compute abuse. They think they're in trouble. They think someone's doing something wrong. So to Lena, it could have been Gannon's just in trouble again. I don't know. I don't know. We heard the craziness where she was trying to manipulate the investigators, which wasn't working, yet they went along with it. I posted this in the Crime Lines and Lies Facebook group. There it is, her Instagram, Dr. Stout. Tisha Stout, followed by Harley, of course. That's her Instagram. Hello, Alex. Alex said, will they bring Lena in the courtroom or play video? They're going to bring her in. She's going to be in there. And nothing excuses Letecia's behavior. Nothing. The alcoholic stepdad? No. The mom that took care of the alcoholic stepdad instead of Letecia? No. And I don't believe a lot of these things happened. I think Letecia's making them up. Corey said Dr. Stench, for sure, for sure. So what set her off? Because I don't think I don't think him spilling that candle pushed her over the edge that much. I also want to know, and hopefully Lena, I hate to say that because she's a little girl. I hope she can put the puzzle pieces together. You knock a candle over, how did he get burnt? It's going to blow out before it hits the ground. Thank you for the super sticker, Izzy. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. You have no idea how much that means. Thank you. Slim said the mother-in-law's visit. That could be. And I'm not trying to lay any more on Al, but I go back to, if you look on the screen, her Google searches. This is what was deleted. These aren't even all of the searches. This was deleted out of her phone, and they got him out. Hey, Rexy. Rexy said she poured it on him. Find me a new husband. I feel like I'm a nanny, not a stepmom. Husband uses me to babysit his kids. Are there any free monies to move away from bad situation? My husband never posts about me, but does everything else. My husband only cleans up for the army, not me. I'm just a glorified babysitter. Find a new husband. Sent my husband sexual messages, he ignores them. Make my husband want me more. I feel like my husband uses me to babysit his kids. Find a guy without kids. These were deleted. The other search terms were military singles in your area, people are going to treat you differently someday, and things like this. It's all in the probable cause affidavit, which was jaw-dropping when I first read it, and it's even more jaw-dropping now. But she created all of this mess. Listen to this clip real quick. Tell me what you think.
Drive a narcissistic person in a relationship are power, control, and domination. And the narcissistic person uses the relationship as a source of validation. If those needs are not being met or cannot be achieved, that is a contributor to the volatility of these relationships.
And it doesn't always end in murder, but in this case, it did. It did. Big time. And I don't think anybody could have stopped it. No one. Because she's a manipulator. She has the facade. She's a airline stewardess. She's a doctor. She's the perfect mother. Let's look at this real quick. This is what got the ball rolling for sure.
Well, devastating. Initially, Scott, I can't lie, when the TMZ information.
Gannon, I promise this is the last time I'm going to ask you. I'm just freaked out, okay? Are you sure you didn't do it on purpose?
He did it.
Okay, you promise. You promise. On purpose. Pinky promise.
Pinky.
Okay, all right. So listen. All right. We're gonna have to sell stuff to fix it. Okay. So we figure out what we gotta sell. We can sell the sofa. We can sell whatever, because we gotta get it fixed. So, lady, don't be mad at us and kick us out of the house. Okay? You got it?
Like it's his problem. He's 11. He's 11. So the lady doesn't kick us out of the house. What are we going to do, Gannon? What are we going to do, Gannon? What are we going to do, Gannon? That's manipulation. That's her game. And she did it to everybody. Everybody that was around her, she did this to them. She had everybody fooled. I like to think that she wouldn't have me fooled. To be quite honest, I would like to think it, but I don't think I'd have paid that much attention to her. She had everybody fooled. Alex says, imagine how she manipulated Harley. And, I'm saving all that on Harley until after she testifies. It's a really heated situation talking about Harley, talking about the brother, talking about Al. I know that, Al he was not charged with anything. No neglect, no endangerment, no abuse, nothing. He taped her. I go to the brother. At this time, she was claiming innocence. 100% innocence. She hadn't been charged. Had he not said something about how he thought something was odd about that suitcase, they wouldn't have been able to place the suitcase with her in her possession when they found it under the bridge. These are little things that have helped get to where we're at. And these investigators have done an amazing job. Something as little as Lena saying she wouldn't let me stay in the house. I had to ride my bike outside. That's huge to them. So if you followed this case for just the trial, getting ready for the trial, or you followed it from day one, I'm sure you saw all of the arguments from the beginning. There was a lot of people that were 100% Team Letecia. I don't see those people around anymore. But that happens. That's okay. Then, of course, there were the people that were saying, why don't they arrest her already? The police is corrupt. I've lived there before. They do nothing. They're not investigating. They need to check the landfill. Here's the trial. It's go time. And what do they say? Not only did they check the landfill, they checked the dumpsters. They interviewed the neighbors, the teachers, everybody they could think of. They put a car tracker on her phone. They wiretapped the bitch. They had plainclothes officers following her around, warrants for the bank, warrants for the cell phone, general forensics. They even tested the air conditioning system on her car and the ones that she rented to see where she went as a backup. That's a lot of corruption, isn't it? That is a lot of corruption. Sounds to me like they didn't plan on solving this at all. Jules just gifted a bunch of memberships. Thank you. Alex said, I'm still thinking about her throwing those damn keys. Is she not an idiot? Then screams at Harley, don't tell him anything. Don't tell him anything. And let me tell you what, I don't know any of these people, and I know there are people who have become friends with people involved in this case. Landon especially. Landon made a lot of friends after Gannon went missing. I think she got to where she couldn't accept any more new friends on Facebook because she hit her 5,000. I don't know these people. So I'm 100% unbiased. So when I say I don't think Al did anything, I mean that 100% because I don't know the dude. I'm not defending a friend of mine. When I say about Harley that I think she knew more, I'm saying that from a place of conviction. I think she knew more. When people say, well, she was just a child, I can't put the she's just a child label on Harley, though. I just can't. I know that she's part of this web that Letecia has spun, but I can't label her the child when you have Lena that is going to testify for her brother. She loves her brother. All right, so I'm going to put some clips up from last week first. I'm not going to do the guy that found him under the bridge because we already know he was found under the bridge. This is one of the phone calls. I'm only going to play part of it where Al flat out confronts her. Now, he knows he's recording, but he doesn't know what she's going to say.
Hey, you told me to be straight.
I got you on the phone, and I'm trying to sit here and tell my own husband every little detail, everything. You think I don't love my family?
All right, Tisha, listen. Like I said the whole time, I'm just trying to help you and trying to keep you and Harley safe from all. I mean, these people are after me now. I don't know who the hell it is, but like I said, I had to go get my clothes changed and everything just so I can blend in better. And I want you to know that no matter what, we can work through this together, and I can help you, okay? But you just got to let me help you. But I have you told me to be straight up. I got a very straight up question, okay? Are you ready?
Yeah.
Did you kill Gannon? I need to know. I need you to answer me yes or no right now.
I killed Gannon. The answer is no. I can't believe you asked me this.
She's so offended. Listen to him. Did you kill Gannon? What? What? Who, me? Yeah, the last person that was with him. The person that has a messed up timeline. The one that told me that he pooped his pants. The one that told me that you have to replace the carpet because he ruined the carpet. Yeah, you bitch. The one that kept him home from school, yet took him to Petco. Who, me? Yeah, you. And social media was crazy. So when Al said, these people are after me now, they were. They were. And she's 100% lying because we know she killed him. What? Who, me?
I just got to know you. I told me to be straight up. I got to know what's happening to my son.
Tell me why you would think I killed Gannon.
There's a lot of unknowns. I mean, being straight up again, you changed your story again to me for the fourth time.
No, I changed my story.
You did. This is the fourth version of the same story. Okay. All right.
Wow.
Like half of what you told me today with the cut foot, and now he's got burned arms and picking it, and his butt's bleeding. All this stuff is new to what you told me the other day. And
all right. So again, we're in her web. She is the narcissist. She creates all of this. She would love to be the hero. She would love to be handing out flyers. She would love to be on the news showing her face as the concerned stepmother, looking for her child, telling the world, his mother isn't here. His mother doesn't want to take care of him. I'm looking for him. He's been having problems at home and he just ran away. She would love for anyone to believe that story. But instead, all eyes are on her and she knew it. She is that good. So he's saying, he goes to a friend's house that she can't name. He doesn't come home. You call the police. Now he's been burnt, picking at it, and his butt's bleeding. Kidding me?
the other day you told me you cleaned up the area where you got raped so nobody would see it. But now you told me you just changed clothes. I just don't know what the hell's going on.
I didn't tell you. First off, you never even listened to me about anything that went on.
I did. No, you stopped because I listened to you. I listened to you, and then I went and got the guns and put them in the truck, and then I came back and me and Landon listened to you. Then I stopped and picked your story apart. So get it straight, Tisha. I listened to you and I said, if I'm wrong about the rape, I will get on my knees and beg you for forgiveness. Did I not say that?
Yeah, but you haven't.
Exactly, because I haven't been proven wrong yet.
Okay, so she creates the crazy story about Eduardo and his pleasure sounds humping on her. And Al's telling her, you're a liar. You lied. He's like, I will apologize to you. And she's like, but you haven't, because I haven't been proven wrong yet. As we know, when she went to the hospital for the SANE exam to figure out if she had been AR'd or not, she left. But she made sure to tell the detectives that Eduardo made pleasure sounds while attacking her. I know some of you are thinking if Eduardo was a real person, you'd be jealous of Eduardo, but no, this did not happen.
Want the truth. If I'm wrong, if the police, no matter what they're doing, the FBI, the CBI, the CBS, whoever, okay, if they tell me I'm wrong, I will publicly, in front of the world, get on a camera and tell you I'm sorry. But until that happens, we're going to find the truth.
How can you tell me that someone didn't I don't understand. How can you tell me that someone didn't do something to hurt me and take Gannon?
I'm not telling you that. I'm telling you it hasn't been proven one way or the other. You said you banged your head on the freaking table. Now I got to tell them to go check out the table and see if there's any blood or any of your...
You knew that. They had already asked that.
Okay, but that's the first I heard of it. You see what I'm saying?
You never would talk to me. You literally just sat here in a conversation and asked me, did I kill our child?
Yes, I did, because if you say no, then I'll stop thinking that you did it. Okay?
That's horrible.
That's horrible. He's flat out accusing her. If you would tell me if anything made sense, I would quit accusing you of killing my son. He's accusing her. He's flat out saying, did you kill Gannon? No. Who, me? He goes, if you would say something, if you would tell the truth, then I'll quit accusing you. You keep giving me all these different stories. Now you've been sexually assaulted in the house and hit your head on the table? Don't forget, Eduardo didn't want money, guns, or anything like that. He wanted a suitcase and Gannon.
I don't know what to think. My son's blood. You're telling me his blood's all over the walls, and now you're telling me the Mexican guy that had the gun to your head or whatever took him away, and he knows him, and he could be anywhere.
Hold on. Gun? So where did you get that piece from?
That was so now you got me twisting all your stories up, because that was from the first time you told me the rape story. That he had a gun to your head. You told me it was your gun. You told me. But you told me it was your gun, so that's fine. I'm not debating the points here. But...
I said the black one.
Okay, fine. But I mean,
hang on, the black what?
Now you got me twisting all your stories up, because that was from the first time you told me the rape story. That he had a gun to your head. You told me it was your gun. You told me. But you told me it was your gun, so that's fine. I'm not debating the points here. But...
I said the black one.
Okay, fine. But I mean,
you know in your heart I would never hurt Gannon.
Yes, I absolutely believe that. But I'm doing everything I can to help you right now. But Tisha, listen. The thing is, if you don't, but it's not just. I asked you if you killed him. You said no, and I'm sorry. That was a hard question. But if you know anything, or you did anything, or just upset about it, we can work together, and I can help you. But I can't help you if you don't tell me anything. It's just there's so many unknowns, Tisha.
Oh my God.
I mean, did anything happen that was an accident that you're scared about?
Really?
I'm just trying to, Tisha, you know, with my Army training, I'm trained to ask all these questions to get us in a safe place, right? And that's why I took the guns out from the get-go. That's just my training kicking in.
Oh my God, I really thought, I thought out of this conversation, I really thought you were going to be supportive of me. I thought you were going to bring your family back together. And I thought that we were going to talk about everything every single day of nothing but Gannon.
So in her mind, she said, I thought this was going to bring us together, that you were going to put our family back together, and we were going to talk every day, every single day of nothing again, just about Gannon. Really? I thought you were going to be supportive of me and bring our family back together even closer because of this with Gannon. Kat said exactly why she did it. Then we go to the Google searches. Find me a new husband. I feel like I'm just a nanny, not a stepmom. Husband uses me to babysit. My husband never posts about me, but does everything else. My husband only cleans up for the army. I'm a glorified babysitter. She tells him, I thought you were going to support me, and this would bring our family back together. Wow. I don't know how he kept it together because he knows there's only one version of the truth. And when he says to her, now you tell me you've been raped? I don't know if it's this conversation or another. And when he says, and we can't find him, Letecia. We can't find him. So you had to have done something.
That's what I'm trying to do.
For a second, you were asking, and I killed him, and I can't believe that.
Well, I'm glad you said no. That gives me a lot of hope and peace.
I already told him about maybe, just maybe, you might have a brother. Maybe. We talked about, we cried about Kobe. We did a lot together.
What?
What hurt, Kevin?
Okay.
Dog.
Okay, Tisha, let me ask it this way then. I don't believe you killed him, but did something bad happen to him and he maybe he is dead or not with us anymore and you just panicked and didn't know what to do? I mean, is there anything like that? Just any information is what I need. We can help you. I can help you get through this. But but we got to know the information about Bubba. I mean, just think of,
Really, Gail?
yes, I'm just trying to figure out what happened to him. He's gone and nobody knows anything, but you were the last one to hear him speak. Okay, which was Monday when you were driving around and he left the house. The last time we heard him speak, I don't know. I don't know when that was. Before I left, probably. When I left and he went downstairs to watch Pokemon. That's the last memory I have of him.
Albert, let me tell you something. People don't have the life that I have. People don't just be a normal person, just doing their thing, finally have what they want to do and be in the sky, working. Oh, they don't do that. People premeditate things in life. There's no sign or indications of anything that I would have ever hurt those children. I fought for you. I fought for them.
Yes, you did. You.
She's going to go work in the sky as a flight attendant. She says people don't just do things. Normal people don't just do things. They premeditate them. Well, how do we know? It seems that she did premeditate. She gave him hydrocodone. She kept him home from school. She went to Petco. She left him in the truck. She even tells the detective, so she knows that she's on camera. She tells him where she parked. You can see me in the store looking back to make sure he's okay. This was in the recording we heard yesterday where she's being interrogated. The rest of it's tomorrow. They left us at a good point when it was getting good. There is, in the probable cause affidavit, there is a gap of time before they get home that it seems that she's just aimlessly driving around. I don't know if she thought he was going to pass away from the hydrocodone or she planned to do something away from the house. I don't know. But she brings him back to the house. And well, we know what happened. We know what happened. Not only is she premeditated, she's so calculated that she tried to buy a polygraph. This is a true story. If you missed it, here you go again. She tried to buy a polygraph exam. The results.
Okay, let me try resending that, and if you don't receive it, give us a call back.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, now. Bye-bye.
So Special Agent Cohen, the phone number that, at the very beginning, let me back up. There, you can hear ringing. Does that indicate that this is a phone call that was initiated by the defendant to a particular place?
That's correct.
Were you able to investigate and determine who it was that she was calling?
I was.
What was the phone number that she was calling?
Objection, foundation would be. Mr. Allen.
I can lay some foundation, Judge. When a wiretap is obtained, does it record both the outgoing and receiving phone numbers?
As part of the overall wiretap in this investigation, we also installed something called a pen register trap and trace device. That particular device will record both the outgoing or incoming phone number from the subject telephone.
And so does that mean that the receiving phone, the person that is being dialed or place that the originator is dialing, would be caught in this trap and trace?
That's correct. It's identified as either an outgoing or incoming phone call.
Look at her holding her head. She's, according to her, she's the smartest person in the room. Here's this man testifying, and he goes, we put a tap and trace on her phone so they knew what she was doing. And look at her holding her head. I guess she didn't do enough research into how they can figure out everything.
And we have the telephone numbers on both ends of that conversation.
And then were you able to look up that particular phone number that was dialed for this call and see it being associated with a particular web page?
Yes, I was.
What web page was that?
Fakepolygraph.com.
Okay. And is that what all of these phone calls are in relation to, is calls originated by the defendant to a purportedly fakepolygraph.com webpage?
That's correct.
Okay. Let's jump into 689 and permission to publish 689, Judge.
You may go ahead.
May I help?
Hi, yes, I was just talking to you. Is there a way you confirm where you sent those? Because I still didn't get them.
Yeah, so I'm just going to get that resent for you. So if you wait for the next sort of 10, 15 minutes and let me know if you haven't received it by then.
I was saying, can you check the email? Because I just want to make sure.
Okay, yeah, give me a moment.
Did she wonder who the Borat fellow was on the call? Because this is a very fake accent. I could even do better than this. Did she not think that maybe Austin Powers had grabbed the phone? Oh my God, and she's still just talking away, further incriminating herself.
Spelled TECIALYNN2006
Okay. Okay, cool. So you said
Okay.
that 10 to 15 minutes?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Have a good day.
In that particular phone call, did it sound like there was an email address that was confirmed to the defendant?
Yes.
What was that email address?
It was Tisha Lynn at 2000. I can't remember the exact address, but it was an address that we knew to be associated to the defendant.
Okay. And that's what sounds like an England speaking person relayed, and then the defendant acknowledged that as being the correct email address.
That's correct.
Okay. And then 690, permission to publish, Your Honor.
You may go ahead.
Hello, how can I help?
Hi, yes, I'm calling again. I still didn't get that email.
Okay, can I ask your name, please?
It's last name Stalk, S-T-A.
Ah, right, yes, perfect. I can see here.
You told me 10, 15 minutes, and you said it again. I still don't have it.
Yeah, no, unfortunately, it's actually been blocked by management, this order, due to the content of the questions, so we're not going to be able to send this report.
Oh boy, I'm gonna have to push that back a little bit because it's a wonder she didn't lose her shit because of the context of the questions. We had to block it. Jesse said, Brooks, can you explain how the heck that works? How did she order a test showing she passed? Never heard of such a thing. I've never heard of it either. When I heard about this from the probable cause years ago, of course, I was like, I got to look this up. And people normally use it for like divorce court. Like if they've been accused of cheating. That's the whole thing. Or if they've gotten in trouble at work, they're like, well, I'm going to go take a polygraph. I don't know how this would fly anywhere. I really don't. Only in her world. And they certainly, for whatever the cost is, I think, what was it, like $50, 150, I can't remember. You type out the questions you want and you look at hers. Did I kill Gannon? And they're like, no. No, sis. I'm not doing that.
Ah, right, yes, perfect. I can see here.
You told me 10, 15 minutes, and you said it again. I still don't have it.
Yeah, no, unfortunately, it's actually been blocked by management, this order, due to the content of the questions, so we're not going to be able to send this report.
Okay. So, do I get my money back?
Unfortunately, not on this case, no. Obviously, due to our terms and conditions, it does clearly state that any sort of illegal activities or anything like that, obviously the management do reserve the right not to send the report. Obviously, we do incur processing fees, so that's why a refund wouldn't be due.
Can you believe her? So, do I get my money back? He went, no. No. We have a processing fee here. So, do I get my money back? No, you're not getting your money back. Double whammy. You don't get your fake polygraph and you don't get your money. Just the way she said it. So do I get my money back? No.
So what do you do now? Just delete it and go on about life and keep money?
Yes, we would do indeed.
I got you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now. Bye-bye.
In that particular call, is it essentially being communicated that a polygraph result is not going to be provided because it's associated with the illegal activity?
Misleading and further the jury has heard the phone call for their own determination. Sustained on second grounds, jury can make their own determination.
Okay. And then permission to publish 691.
You may go ahead.
Hi, how can I help?
I did it hang up.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I can hear you now. How can I help you?
Okay. I talked to you earlier and you said that the request I did was blocked or something, but I looked on the terms and conditions and it says you can't say things about like infidelity and stuff like that. So I'm not sure how that was blocked.
So that again, sorry, that you can or can't?
No, okay, so I did a report earlier and you said you would send it to me. Then when I called back, you said it was blocked, that I wasn't allowed to get the report. But then I clicked the terms and conditions and it says you can do questions about infidelity and stuff like that.
Yes, infidelity you can, correct.
Right, and That's what I did.
See, she's getting nervous. She's paranoid. Oh, these questions were about infidelity. He goes, yeah, but yeah, you can. She's probably still trying to get her money back. Oh, these are about infidelity. You must have my file mixed up with someone else's. Because the questions that I wanted to say I was telling the truth on were ones that say, did you murder Gannon? Did you put Gannon in a suitcase? Do you know where Gannon is?
Your report was about infidelity, was it?
What did you say?
So you're saying your report was about infidelity?
Yeah, like I put questions in for it, and you had to put like answers. And you said something about it being blocked.
Yes. Yeah, so what were your questions?
So it was about during the time that we were away inside of in another state that I talked to, and I gave the person's individual's name, Ortega. That was one of them. Then it said, "Are your eyes blue?" And I did a couple of the questions that were on the bottom.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure in that case. Unfortunately, that's not what came through.
Yeah, dude, how'd you get that mixed up? She didn't ask anything about Gannon or murder. It's all about her eyes and some infidelity out of state.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what's happened there then.
Because I read that you can do this. Yeah, it says on there that you can do that.
Yeah, you would be able to about infidelity, but the questions that were submitted for your order were not to do with infidelity.
Yeah, I didn't submit questions that were not to do with infidelity.
Okay. All right. See, well, I'll have to look into that then in that case.
Do you want me just to write you the questions down?
No, it's okay. I'll just need to have a look into this then to see what can be done.
Okay.
Just remind me again, what was the name on the report?
It was Stauch, Stauch.
And that's your surname, is it? Your last name?
Yes.
Okay. And first name is?
Tecia.
Okay. And how do I spell that?
It's Tecia.
Tecia.
Yes.
Okay. All righty. Well, let me have a look into that and I can come back to you.
Okay. Thank you.
What's the best number to get you on?
843. 798. 1700.
Okay. Right. Thanks a lot now. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Special Agent Cohen, these phone calls are from February 18th, as you've testified. Were you aware also at this same time that that's when these pretext calls were being recorded involving Al Stauch and the defendant?
Yes, I was.
Were there phone calls during that time with those pretext calls in which the defendant was talking about getting a polygraph examination?
Yes, she was.
What was she trying to convince the listener, I guess, Al Stauch, of during those conversations?
Objection, speculation, as sustained. I think you can rephrase and refer back to the conversation, but I think it's up to the jury to make a determination about what the defendant's state of mind was during the conversation.
Sure, I understand, Judge. What was she saying to Al as it relates to the polygraph?
She was saying that she had passed a polygraph test, and she was continuing to purport her innocence, and that she had nothing to do with Gannon's disappearance.
Yep, she is calculated. So as she's having these conversations with Al, and Al is flat out asking her and accusing her of killing Gannon, what does she do? Fake polygraph.com. And she was honestly going to present this fake polygraph to Al, thinking that it would convince him that she didn't do anything to Gannon. He's already saying to her over and over, listen, I have training. You're even without training, your stories keep changing. She's so brazen. She would have taken the fake polygraph and rolled into the police station and been like, oh, here you go. I took a polygraph. You guys can get off my ass now. Wow. Wow. Let me go back to what Al says.
For all of us, you're right. I'm not questioning any of that, Tisha. I just did an accident happen? I mean, other than the candle or the burn? I don't know. I'm just trying to ask all the questions.
I've worked with children long enough, Albert. If an accident happened, I'm smart enough. I know what to do. I've had plenty of friends who've been in situations where they've been in the classroom. They accidentally dropped the kid. The kid might have broke their leg. You go to the people, you tell them it's an accident, and you work through it.
Okay, so all right,
Now hang on, I didn't know she had friends, because that was one thing when all of this went down. I kept thinking to myself, where is this woman's friends? She has no friends. Which I'm not surprised about, because she's one of those people, she has to do her magic in all these different areas. But she has friends that are in classrooms and they drop the kid, and the kid with osteoporosis breaks their leg in front of everybody, and they call the people. This is according to her. She has lots of friends this has happened to. Anybody ever holding a child and they get out of your arms? You drop the kid and they break their leg. Even if Shaq dropped a kid, they wouldn't break their leg. Then you just call the people. You know, kids and their brittle bones. You drop one of them and they just shatter.
You also said something that was calmed my heart, tremendously about Bubba, that, basically you didn't premeditate anything. So whatever happened to him had to be an accident, just like the candle. And obviously you wouldn't plan on something like that because you're a teacher and you do all those babysitting events. I know you wouldn't hurt kids intentionally, but whatever happened was an accident. And I know you didn't plan it.
I didn't have anything to do with it. Why are you saying this to me?
So he would have had to have died naturally then. Other than
he's dead.
I don't know, Tisha.
I can't even believe you are saying that Gannon isn't alive.
Because it's been weeks and they can't find him. Do you really think that his father thinks he's alive? Listen to her. What? And she has this high pitched when she's trying to get a point. What? How could you say that? Gannon's alive. He's like, what do you want me to think? Of course. What's
wrong with you?
Because it's just none of this makes any sense. I mean, he would have been found by now. Okay. He didn't. All the cameras, all that footage shows him not leaving the house other than in the truck. And I like I said, I'm just trying to help you get through this.
Help me?
Yes, help you. Because
help me get through this.
Because I am trying to help you. I want to know what happened to Gannon and try to help you and keep Harley safe and everything that I've said the whole time, because that's who I am and you know that.
See what y'all think. This is what y'all think. Y'all think somebody's going to come in here and say something just to appease everyone. But a true person who is completely innocent You can keep beating me down in the ground all you want to because I didn't do it.
I'm not beating you down.
You think you don't want me anymore? Fine.
Here we go. She said, because I didn't do it. Do what? You just said he's alive. And how dare Al say that? How dare Al suggest that? How could you say that? Then she says, after she calms down, and well, I say she's calmed down, but she's not screeching. Do it. Do what? You said he's alive. Nothing could have been done, right? He just ran away. Huh. Do what? I didn't do it. Do what?
You don't want our family anymore? Fine. You took my car.
You don't want me anymore? Fine. You don't want our family anymore? Fine. Look at the DA on the left-hand side of the screen. He's rubbing his temple. That's what her voice is doing to her, to him. He's rubbing his temple. You don't want me anymore? Fine.
I didn't take anything. They got all my shit too, Tisha. I got 2 cars now because Harley's not going to pay for it. I got 2 cars I got to pay for that I can't even see or touch.
I'm begging you.
No, she hasn't. That I know. So
Every day, Albert, why are you not with your wife? If you want to be so honest and ask questions, why are you not with your wife and daughter?
because I'm going to tell you the truth right now. Because of this conversation, Tisha, I don't know, and I've told you that the whole time. I'm confused. I'm all over the place. I can't get the truth from you or the police or nobody. And now it's just even worse now because I got another story I've got to try to make a theory from.
Another story? You have never talked to me.
But you just told me. You told me a few minutes ago we had, and we went over it. You told me the first story. No, first you told me he ran away. Then it was the rape story. Then it was the second rape story. Now it's the third rape story.
I can't believe you just said the rape story.
I'm just. What do you want me to call it? The story of Gannon disappearing. Okay, you told me the first version of that, the second version, and now the third version.
You a second or third version?
Yes.
She's offended again. It's all about her. I can't believe you just said that to me. I can't believe you just said that to me. Well, hang on, Jodie Foster. We know you weren't assaulted. You wouldn't even take the exam at the hospital. Nothing happened to you, but you slipped and said, I didn't do it. And you tried to get a fake polygraph to convince him.
You sit down and talk to me.
No, that day that I got home. No, the day I got home, that next morning after my mom and sister and Landon and everybody was at the house, you told me you were texting Bethel and you told her the story. I don't know what you told her, and I kind of don't even.
Yes, you do.
I don't even care. No.
I told there.
Tell us where.
My God, I can't believe you're lying to me right now.
About what? I'm not lying to you about anything, Tisha.
Albert, they had y'all at the police department when I was there.
Oh, you mean when Landon showed up and then they brought, I was already there or whatever? Is that what you're talking about? Because that's the only time I know. I don't even know when you're there. I just assumed you had finally come in that night. Or was it the next day you came in? I don't even know, Tisha.
You were there because she was talking to you there.
Who was?
Bethel?
She was talking to me at the police station?
Yes.
Honestly, most of my talking was with Mark, the other guy that was at Starbucks.
Why did she not want him talking to Jessica Bethel? Jessica Bethel had her sized up really quick. She wrote the probable cause, 32 pages of it. Her whole demeanor and her voice just changed. And she goes, you were talking to Bethel. And he goes, I don't really talk to her. I talked to Mark. Hello, Kylie Crazy Dog Lover. Imagine the breath of fresh air he got when he got away from her. I mean, we know he would rather have Gannon here. But he's got to be going out of his mind. You're telling me all these different stories. You haven't talked to me. Yes, he did. They sat down at Starbucks together and talked to the detective together.
So I don't know what you mean she was talking to me. I think I talked to her for like 10 or 15 minutes. If I'm
Did not tell you anything different. This is how my day went. I was going to lay down.
Hey, Tisha, I believe you. Okay. What I want you to answer for me is those simple questions. Did Gannon die and you just freaked out, or was there an accident involved? Did you kill him? Answer all those questions. Those are the ones that I want to know. Okay, I don't care about who talked to who, when we went where. Honestly, at this point, none of that freaking matters. What matters is that little 11-year-old boy is either out there or he's not, and I got to know that. And you're the only one that has any information regarding that.
I gave you that information, and you're not going to look for it.
No, but you ignored my question. I mean, answer those questions for me.
That's the first question.
All right. Did you kill Gannon?
No.
Okay. Did Gannon die on your watch, whether it was an accident or naturally from some injury?
No.
Okay. Did Gannon have an accident of a serious nature and you freak out and cover it up?
No.
So the answer is no to all of that.
Correct.
Okay. Now this is going to be very uncomfortable for you, even more uncomfortable than what I just asked you.
Correct. Listen to her. Was there an accident and it got covered up? Did he die naturally? So no to all that. He's already asked her point blank, did you kill him? Then she goes, correct. She's so offended.
Did Harley kill Gannon?
God, no.
Okay, any of the same questions, did she have anything to do with an accident, a cover up? Was she involved in this at all with you?
No. I haven't been involved either.
So there's a blank somewhere that you have not filled the blank. So.
How have I not filled the blank? So you don't think for a second that someone came in the house again, and you don't think that?
I don't doubt that. I don't know what to believe, but I'm not doubting you. I'm just having to ask all these questions. So,
I begged you. I said, hey, let us all be together. Look at me in my eyes and ask me that question. Feel it in your heart and then ask me that question.
Well, but you gotta look at it from my perspective. Okay, first of all, and I got a couple things to say, so let me get through it. These stories, just like I've said the whole time, they don't sound legit to me. They just don't add up. They're not true. Something is off from every story because there's different versions. So that's number one. Number two. I've only
talked to you once.
Okay.
I've only talked to you once. Well, she should have been taking notes. So let's listen to her demeanor when he says, did Harley do something to Gannon? Was there an accident Harley covered up? Did Harley help you cover it up? And all she says is, God, no. Now, most mothers would be offended, truly offended, at that accusation and take the rest of it on the chin. That, for most mothers, the conversation would be 100% over. You know, you want to accuse me, that's one thing, but you're accusing Harley, that's different. But she keeps going back to this, we need to be together and you can look me in the eye. I almost wonder if she didn't want to get him one-on-one because she wanted to kill him.
Okay, all right, fair enough, but you got to put yourself in my shoes, okay? what the hell would you do if this was Harley, okay? And you didn't have all the information. How would you put all these pieces together? So, I mean, you got, from my glasses, how am I supposed to put all these pieces together when I don't even have a third of the pieces? I'm just trying to fit the piece, find the pieces and get them together.
You want me to answer that question?
Which one? The one about what if it was Harley?
Yeah.
Yeah, answer that question.
So as soon as you tell me this, when I get off the phone, I will have my husband and my children together in a home, and our houses will be praying, and we will be on the phone with the detectives, and we will be saying, "Listen, I support my husband, and we need to find someone over here. Somebody had to see something. Ask them again. Do something." We will be putting a fucking alert out everywhere. We will be putting a description out everywhere. We will close the fucking borders from Colorado to all of them, up and down 95, because it leads to fucking Mexico.
95? What?
That shit.
Why would
I'm
you?
sorry, 85, whatever.
85?
Now he's like, you're all over the place. You're all over the place. We're going to shut down the borders. I'm going to get back in the home with my husband and support my husband. And we're going to call these detectives and we're going to tell them they're going to find Gannon. We're going to put his description out everywhere. All of that had been done except closing the borders. She's an idiot. People had been passing out flyers like they were breath mints everywhere. People were having vigils. Everybody was talking about Gannon. It was all over the news. I was following the case. I don't live in Colorado. And I'm going to tell him I support my husband. He's not the problem. You see, Al was investigated. Al never got in trouble for endangerment, neglect, abuse, turning a blind eye, should have known, any of that stuff. He's working with the authorities. Grandma Bunny on the way to Florida, I-95. There you go. See, everybody's trying to find Gannon except for her. She's the odd duck. She's the odd man out. She can't stand it. So we're all going to get back together and we're going to put out descriptions. That's already being done. And they're investigating you. They cleared Al. She didn't help do anything. Nothing. In the probable cause, I think it's on the 3rd page, they even said they knew that she had made no efforts to try to find Gannon. None.
Call 25.
Oh.
It leads to Mexico.
Well, you please be careful when you say those things because then they're going to start looking up and down 95 on the East Coast. Okay?
Sorry.
And that's not going to help us. I mean, since you know he's not over there, that's not going to help us if they get sent over there. Okay? But you didn't answer my question. How am I supposed to put all these pieces together? You're telling me let's go home and pray, and I've been praying I've been praying nonstop. Okay, but we got to have action too. So here, listen, I got to go because now I'm freaking. Everybody's going to start questioning me at the house. Where have you been? What are you doing? Are you involved? I'm going to get all those questions now. So
who are you staying with?
Uncle Jeff, and then freaking Veronica and all them that are all over the place. Okay, so
why would you have to be anywhere near them?
I don't have to be, but you saw we had to do. Listen,
and your daughter.
Tisha, listen, I had to do these statements and interviews and all this shit. It's just nonstop. Every day is something else. Okay, so if you think all this information is what they need, apparently the El Paso people haven't done their job and they haven't forwarded it to the FBI. So I don't know. There's some Amber lady called me from the FBI, and I'm gonna just email you her number and her name. And if you want to pass this information to her, that's much higher than the freaking CBS or whatever you call it.
Yeah, because they called everyone I know.
Okay, well then that's what
you can tell them too.
Okay, but
she's such an idiot because they've called everyone I know. Yeah, idiot, because they're trying to figure out what you did. Listen to her, because they've called everyone I know. Oh, yeah, and then some. I bet there were some familiar faces that have been on the stand the last couple of weeks. The guy from the rental car place, the guy from Budget. Sure, she wasn't expecting that polygraph call. Thank you, Angel P. She gifted 5 Crime Lines and Lies memberships. Use those wisely because we're going to be having a members live soon, and I update the members tab quite a bit. They're calling everybody I know. Hate to give you a bad reputation now, don't we, Letecia?
But I don't have the document you have. So anyways, I'm just going to send you the contact. And if you want it, you take it. If not, I can't make you do anything. But I got to go. Okay?
Yeah, but that's not how you would say trying to find your son. You would not say, if you don't want to do anything, then blah, blah, blah.
No, that's not true because I can't. I wanted you with me the whole time and you left. So I'm going to give you the information you need to pass your stuff along, and then you can do that, okay?
Listen to me. We don't have anywhere to stay. I'm asking you to stay with your wife and daughter, and let's do this together. Now, you tell me no if you think that you don't give a shit about us and you don't want that. You tell me no right now.
Tell you no.
You tell me yes. If you want your family together because you believe
I
me.
wanted my family together.
but no.
Listen to me. Listen to me. I wanted my family together the whole time. And listen, you're not letting me help you. So I recommend that you get in contact with this Amber lady because she offered me help and safety because I told her what I was going through. And I'm sure they'll do the same thing for you, especially all that you've been through with you're telling me about the social media stuff and people chasing you around. You said in the email. So I'm going to send you her contact information. Okay. And then you decide whether or not to contact her to find protection for yourself and get them this information. Okay. But I got to go. Okay.
Okay, very interesting. And this is in every single case. Carol just gifted 5 Crime Lines and Lies memberships. Thank you, Carol. In these cases where they are high profile cases, social media is going crazy, they will offer protection to the families. These people go real life. They're going to show up at the house. They think they're helping. You got everybody in town wearing a Gannon t-shirt. This one guy was real goofy, I remember. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Like he said, Amber at the police station, she's offered protection for me because these people are after me now. And they were. They were after Al. Not even home. Hadn't been home. Very rarely home, but he's supposed to be complicit in all this. And he's like, you get a hold of them with all this crazy stuff that you've been going through. They're going to get you protection. I need protection. I'm about to have a heart attack. Misty Dawn just gifted 10 Crime Lines and Lies memberships. Thank you so much, Misty. We can have members' lives all the time now. Everybody's a member. Getting close. Thank you so much, guys. Connie said it's raining memberships. It is. So we're back to her web. But she's hit a dead end because he won't listen to it. He's telling her. He's flat out asking her, did you kill Gannon? Was there an accident? You covered it up. Did he die naturally? You didn't know what to do. Then something that most mothers would not put up with. Did Harley do it? And no, I don't think Harley did. I'm not throwing that out there. Right there is when she should have been furious with him. What are you talking about, Harley? And he brought up Harley several times. He even said, I've got to make these car payments even though they've impounded the cars. It's not like Harley's going to do it. And she still says nothing. He's talking about Harley. What would you do if somebody accused your child of murder? Not just a murder, but the murder of their stepbrother. In the home, he's missing. This is nationwide people talking about this case. You'd come unglued. Who the hell do you think you are? This is where I end it. I'm not talking to you anymore. She doesn't care. We go back to this.
Drive a narcissistic person in a relationship are power, control, and domination. And the narcissistic person uses the relationship as a source of validation. If those needs are not being met or cannot be achieved, that is a contributor to the volatility of these relationships.
When all of that can't be met for someone like Letecia, has anybody known someone like Letecia? I don't mean on this scale that they're a murderer. When that can't be met, it becomes very volatile. You know, the people that can't keep a job, they go from job to job to job to job to job. They're engaged. broke up, engaged, broke up. They move. They're really big about finding new cities to live in and stuff because everywhere they go, they kick up a shitstorm. And like, I've been watching all this stuff about her personality. It's volatile. They get extremely upset. Now, she definitely went over the top. She had her family fooled. Like I said, it was perfect for her in Colorado. Her family's in South Carolina. All they know is what she's telling them. She's actually the point of contact for Gannon's biological mother, Landon. She's telling Landon what's going on there. Harley's just like a buddy. She doesn't treat her like a daughter. She's her confidant. She's her only friend. Al's never home, so she just reports to Al when she talks to him. When he comes home, she can play nice for a couple of days, right? But under her control is Gannon and Lena. I still wonder what put her over the edge because it wasn't a damn candle. But I go back to her Google searches and it seems to be it was between her and Al, and he didn't realize it. She had a very, very supportive family, so supportive that they would never have believed that she would hurt a hair on Gannon's head. They came out from South Carolina to Colorado. Okay, this is not a 1-hour trip. This is cross country. They come out there to support her. I believe it was her Aunt Brenda, her mom. We know the brother. There were several of them. They all come out there to support her. They don't believe this. Then the brother, later on, he tells the authorities about this suitcase. To most people, this is not a big deal. It's a suitcase. It's a suitcase. It's a suitcase. Who cares about a suitcase? She was traveling. Of course she had a suitcase, but not like this suitcase. Not like Indie Girl either, who just put in 5 Crime Lines and Lies memberships. We are stocked up. We are to the roof. Thank you, guys. You are the best.
If you would step forward and raise your right hand, please, sir. A little farther forward.
Just go right in the middle of the court.
All right. You swear affirm the testimony about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Go ahead and have a seat in the witness stand. Please watch your step as you step into the stand.
Good morning. Could you introduce yourself to the jury and spell your first and last name?
Dakota Lowry, DAKOTALOWRY.
And where do you live, Dakota?
Wilmington, North Carolina.
Did you just fly in yesterday?
Yes, sir.
And what is your relationship with Letecia Stout?
That's my sister.
Pretty tough for you being here right now?
Yes, sir.
Hang in there, all right?
Why, teacher?
She doesn't even flinch. That's her brother. Why? Why did you do this? Everybody that comes across this woman is a victim. She has ruined so many people's lives. Nobody is unaffected by her. They're ruined. And she just has her chin popped up with her fist and she's unaffected. This does not bother her at all. This does not bother her at all. She probably thinks it's funny. He believed her when she said it was softball equipment. No reaction, none. She is a monster. She is a monster.
Mr. Lowry, do you need a moment?
Take a break for a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have you step back in that back of the jury room for a few minutes. All up for the jury, please.
Now she's standing up because the jury's leaving and she's looking straight at him. Elaine said psychopath. She is. She's staring right at him. After he's breaking down. He's losing his shit. She's a sadist. And she's staring right at him. Ugh.
It's an emotional case. I get that. But you just have to do the best that you can to get through the testimony, okay?
And with the court's permission, can I just ask some follow-up questions? Mr. Lowry, I know this is very difficult for you, okay? But I really want you to focus on me, and I know your wife's here as well. And I'm just going to ask you some questions, and we'll get through this, okay? But it's important that you got to kind of keep your cool.
Okay.
All right? Can you do that?
I'm gonna try my best. I can't make no promises, but I try my best.
And I appreciate that. I know it's difficult for you here, but we'll get through this, okay? And if you need a break, just let us know. If you feel something coming up or you want to have an outburst, do the best you can and let us know, and perhaps the court, we can take another break, okay? Is that fair?
Okay. All right. All right. Let's go ahead and bring the jury back in. Do we have the other camera? All rise for the jury, please.
Okay, I'm seeing some awesome comments. Wiz said, I hope the jury is really catching on to all these twists. The phone calls with Al, the detectives and everything are one thing, but the personal relationships she has with people or had. Her brother, who's broken, he didn't ask for any of this. And remember, her family in South Carolina doesn't even know Gannon. They came out to support her. They're thinking she's being wrongfully accused of something. She puts them in yet something else, something that nobody bargained for.
You mentioned that she wanted to go back to South Carolina. What was the plan with the cargo van? Was she going to take the cargo van that Brenda Awkward rented to go back to South Carolina?
I don't know if she was gonna take that one because Aunt Brenda wouldn't. I doubt Aunt Brenda was gonna let her. I believe Aunt Brenda told her she had to get another van.
And so the next morning, we're now on February 1st, 2020. Did you help her get a new van?
Yes, sir.
Tell the jury about that. What did you and your sister do to get a new van?
We went and drove to the budget place. We got another van, and we got the van. We unloaded all the stuff from out of the van into another van, into the other van.
So was that in the early morning hours?
I believe so.
Do you know about what time it was? Is that the first thing you did on February 1st?
I can't remember.
So when you get to the budget area, did you know that you were going to transfer things from one van to another when you got there?
Yeah.
So did.
This is so sick. This is so maniacal. This is so diabolical. This is so manipulative. Help me with some adjectives because I'm running out. I am running out. Without even realizing it, these people were part of transferring Gannon's body. She has moved Gannon's body multiple times to the point where he wound up in Florida under a bridge. Mr. J. Quinn said, I hope they put her under the damn jail. Yep. And I've seen some comments, not in here, but people are like, I hope they find her guilty. She's guilty. She killed him. This whole trial is, will she go to an institution or will she go to the pen? What is she going to get? Everybody she came in contact with, she ruined them. Even Aunt Brenda, who I'm not a fan of. Even Brenda. Because Brenda was going hard for her niece. Wow.
Did you talk about that on the way to the budget rental van?
Yeah.
So talk to the jury about that. How did you guys go about doing that? Moving the items from one van to another?
We just went around right to the side of the budget place, and we just backed the vans up and just swapped them out.
During that process, did you see the defendant with a rather large suitcase?
Yes, sir. I seen her with a lot of suitcases. Well, there was a lot of suitcases on there.
Was there one that kind of stood out to you?
Yes, sir.
Tell the jury about that. Why did it stand out to you?
Because it looked like she was struggling with it.
Did you offer to help her?
Yep.
Okay, right there before I lose my breakfast. She was struggling with it. Mm-hmm. Did you offer to help her with it? Mm-hmm. You know how twisted this is? Who would think of this? Who? Who? Except her. Who in the hell would think to do something like this? You have your daughter, you have your brother, you have your Aunt Brenda, you have the people at Budget, everywhere else they went. You had Spencer on the news as Gannon's in the suitcase just yards from him. How twisted is she? And I don't know who said it, but I believe you. I agree with you. She enjoys this. She enjoys this. She knows she's lugging him around. Whew. Grandma Bunny, you're exactly right. The quirk here is the prosecutor has to prove she's not insane. Not insane like a psychiatrist, like a regular private practice would say, or at a hospital. Legally. Legally. Do you guys think legally she knew right from wrong? Divine said absolutely atrocious.
What'd she say?
She didn't need help.
Did you ask her what's in the suitcase?
Yep.
What'd she say?
She told me it was softball stuff.
Why'd you ask her what's in the suitcase?
I didn't feel right about it.
What about that suitcase didn't make you feel right?
I just felt like it was too heavy for her.
You know, at this time, I'd like to publish People's Exhibit 48. It's already been admitted into evidence.
Go ahead.
You recognize that suitcase we see on the TV screen?
Yep.
How do you recognize that suitcase?
Look, it's an old suitcase. And I remember that suitcase looked old, and it's green.
Is that the suitcase you saw your sister putting into the budget van?
Good God. Jules, thank you, love. Thank you for supporting the channel. Jules just gifted 5 Crime Lines and Lies memberships. So he's asked, he said, yeah, it's an old suitcase. Is that the suitcase? Is that the suitcase? He's about to lose it. He's about to lose it. What a horrible, horrible thing she did. Not just to Gannon, which is the worst, the absolute worst. You can't even imagine what all she put him through. Anything she could think of. She burned him. She stabbed him. She beat him. She shot him. Put him in a suitcase and lugged him around. Told everybody he was softball equipment. He's softball equipment. All of these people that she has come in contact with, she has ruined these people. Their lives will never be the same. They have such grief for Gannon, those that knew Gannon. They have psychological damage. This is a grown man. Also, it was said, not in this clip, she was extremely, extremely jealous of her brother. They're 14 years apart. And her mother showered him with attention. He was a little boy. She showered him with attention. How do you think that went over with Letecia? Yeah, you're right. She drugged him. She is horrible.
Yep. Is that the suitcase you asked her about what's in it?
Yep.
Is that the suitcase you didn't feel right about?
Yep.
Is that the suitcase she told you is softball equipment?
Yep.
Thank you. Take that down.
Okay, I had to grab this comment because it's really, really important. Jesse Lynn said, Dakota said on the stand, they have a good mother. He broke down saying it. She's always been good to me. How bad do you think that burnt Letecia's ass when part of her insanity is this terrible childhood she had with a drunk stepfather and a mother that was always chasing the next pogo stick to jump on, according to her. Then you have Dakota, who was showered with attention, saying she was always good to me. I bet that burnt her up. Good thing those bars are iron.
So what happens after you get everything loaded into the budget van from your aunt's rental van?
At that point, we was ready to go home.
And did you drive Brenda Awkward's van back? And did Miss Stout, your sister, drive the budget van?
I can't remember if we turned that van in there at that place or if we had to turn it in somewhere else. But I mean, I had to drive one of them because it was just me and her.
So do you eventually turn back? It's an enterprise van, right? Is that where you rented the van that Brenda Awkward
I
rented?
think, yeah.
Did you take that van back?
Yeah, we took it back. I think we took it back later on that day.
And did you take the Nissan Altima back to Denver to catch your flight?
Yep.
What did the defendant tell you where she was going to go?
I don't think I can remember. I don't remember. The only thing I can remember is her saying something about going back to Myrtle Beach.
And did she leave with Harley?
Yeah, her and Harley live.
Did they leave from the hotel?
I can't remember where we split up at. I can't remember where we.
Or did your sister have to go back to the hotel to pick up Harley?
Yep. I think so.
And is that the last time you saw your sister until today?
Yep.
How much older is your sister than you?
14 years.
You known her your whole life?
Yeah.
Can you give the jury an idea about the family background? How often would you see her as you're growing up, that kind of
She
thing?
come to like holidays, came around on holidays.
Where would you guys meet? North Carolina?
But she'd either come down here or go down there, or we might have went to the beach and seen her.
Had you gone to Myrtle Beach on a few occasions to
Yeah,
hang out with Harley?
Yeah, me and her. I used to go down there and stay with them. We'd go to the water park, stuff like that on the weekends.
Can you let the jury know who your father is?
James Lowry.
And Would that have been your sister's stepfather?
Yes, sir.
Is your dad still alive?
No, sir.
You know when he died?
7th birthday, 2004.
You know the circumstances on how he died?
Got hit by a car.
Okay, now imagine this. By now he knows. His dad was killed by a car, hit by a car on his 7th birthday. The morning of Gannon's murder, she says she can't go to work at a non-existent job. I'll never figure that one out because her stepfather got hit by a car. So with everything else, she's got to rub salt in that wound of his. His dad might be a drunk, but it was his dad that got killed on his 7th birthday. And it's in the probable cause affidavit. Not only is he exposed to a suitcase with Gannon's body, part of the court record is she used his dad's death as a get out of work excuse. And all of these people loved her. All of these people loved her, including Gannon. Imagine that.
Was he walking out in the street? And
I don't know if he was, I don't think he was on the street. I think he was on the side of the road.
do you know anything about the relationship between your father and your sister, Letecia Stout?
No, sir.
Had your sister ever told you anything unusual between the relationship between your father and her?
No, sir.
If there had been something unusual, do you think you would have heard about it?
Objection, foundation.
Overruled.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Why is that?
Because, I mean, pretty sure my mom would have said something.
And your mother, Deborah, was she, well, what kind of mom was she?
She was a great mom to me.
What do you say to me?
I'm just saying that I had no problem with my mama.
Was she very
I
protective?
think none of us should have a problem with my mama.
Was she very protective of the kids,
Yes, sir.
including Miss Stout?
Yes, sir.
Horrible. Horrible. And she's sitting right there. What the hell is wrong with her? I saw a comment in here saying, look, classic narcissism doesn't fit this. Think she's a psychopath? Because I'm not buying this dissociation disorder or whatever. Not that I'm a psychiatrist. No, I'm not even going to look it up. What the hell is really wrong with her? I don't think they'll know. She just needs to go to jail. Hope that gene skips Harley. And so on and so forth. Sal said, my heart hurts hearing his pain. Kat said she's a sociopath, 100. Psycho. Amy said she's a bad seed. Think about that. You have a nice family, all these nice people. You can just have a bad seed. You can just have a bad egg. I think it's just horrific. Everybody she comes in contact with, that really gets in her inner circle. That really gets in her inner circle. They're close with her. Some people can't help it because it's, familiar, familial relations. Everybody. Their life is forever changed. Susan said, why isn't there court date? On Thursdays, the judge he has court, but it's not for this trial. He has other obligations on Thursdays. It's horrible. I don't know what happened to Leticia's dad. I have no idea. Donna said histrionic like Amber. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, we're going to start hearing, because this trial is going to go on until almost Memorial Day. And so they're going to start talking about her soulless, unfeeling self at some point. But she does have a person that's coming to defend her that's going to tell everybody that she was insane at the time of this. And I don't know how much time they're allotting to her. It does worry me because it only takes one juror. It only takes one. Now, she's not going to, I mean, if there's a hung jury or something and somebody says, no, I don't think she knew what she was doing, she's just going to go back to jail until the next trial. What worries me about her ever being institutionalized is, let's say 10, 15, 20 years down the road, they can say, well, we fixed her. She's no longer a danger to society and she could get out maybe. I don't know, particularly in some areas. Quinny said, I can't wait for Harley to be on the stand. I can't either. Lena is going to break my heart because imagine, normally she gets home from school, she gets a snack, she watches TV, but that day she's told, nope, you have to go outside. You can't even be in the house. You have to go outside. Just get on your bike, but you cannot come in this house. Well, why? She obviously wasn't cleaning because it wouldn't be a big deal for her to see her cleaning, right? What was she doing? I think we know. I think we know. All right, before I shut it down, I'm going to put up, because this was a very, very important part of the trial this week. And this is where they talk about his injuries and the autopsy. I'm doing it at the end. That way, if anybody wants to get out and they're like, I don't want to see this, I'm giving you fair warning right now, because I know a lot of people said they missed it. They do want to see what happened to him, and I'm going to start it right now. So this is fair warning. They did not blur out the pictures, and it's horrific.
Bone here because the skin's already decomposed and disappeared, brown, discoloration all over.
And then there's black linear lines in the abdomen and chest area, and also on the, I guess would be the left hip there. Are those also signs of decomposition, or what does that appear to be?
Yes, I think it looks like could be from the clothing.
Okay. So clothing can have an effect on a body as it's decomposing as well?
Yes.
Okay. So there's a measurement device there in People's Exhibit 148 as well.
Yes.
Is there a wound apparent in People's Exhibit 148 that you can point out for the jury?
Yes,
And if you need to stand up, you can feel free.
There's a laceration here on the left chest. Right, this one here. You can't really see it clearly because of the decomposition. The lines are ill-defined. There's a wound here, a wound here. Here. There's another wound up here.
And then as we go through these photos, is it a wide angle shot like this where you can see sort of contextually where a wound might be, and then it zooms in closer in the next photo?
Yes.
All right. When you say a laceration, just so that we're all on the same page.
It's
Yeah.
not a laceration, it's a sharp force injury.
Okay. So that's what I wanted to ask you about. A sharp force injury, what does that mean when a person like you, a medical examiner, says that?
It's a wound caused by a sharp object like a knife or a blade.
Okay. And can you tell us, generally speaking, we're going to look at a number of these sort of sharp force injuries. Are these deep injuries, shallow injuries, generally speaking?
It depends. Some could be shallow, superficial, or they can be deep.
And that's as apparent in this particular autopsy as well. Some are deeper than others.
Yes.
Okay. If we could go on to 149. Is 149 a close-up of what we just looked at in 148?
Yes, this is a close-up.
So can you tell us, as we look at that, how we understand that to be a sharp force injury. What about it tells us that?
Looking at the wound here, you can't really tell it clearly, but when it went into the rib, the third rib, you could see that it's a sharp, like clean cut line because it hit the rib and the space between the two ribs, which is called the intercostal space where there's muscle. So that wound there looks like a knife wound or something that's sharp, caused by something sharp.
Did the decomposition state of this body cause some difficulty in identifying injuries that might have been contributing to what caused the death in this case?
Some of them.
Okay. Now, if we can move on to 150.
This is another sharp force injury. And you can see that it doesn't really look like a sharp force injury because it's got jagged edges from the decomposition. But then you could see the wound inside that it was just like a linear, straight, clean cut wound.
If we could go on to 151.
And that's a close up of the wound.
So let's talk, now that we're seeing this one close up, this looks almost like a hole in the body as opposed to a slit or a slice or maybe even a stab. Tell the jury why that might be for this particular injury and how you can still call this a sharp force injury.
Yes, if you look at the skin here where it was cut, it's clean, it's a straight line. But because of decomposition, there's stretching of the skin and it loses elasticity. So that's why it looks round and not slit-like. Like this one is another wound that looks like a sharp force injury. You can see that it's got sharp tips. That looks like a knife wound.
Okay. If we can move on to 152, I believe the numbering is.
So there's another sharp force injury in the chest, the left chest. And you can see that it's also elongated. That didn't enter the chest cavity, but just hit the muscle, the pectoralis muscle.
Okay, and then 153.
That's a close-up. You can see that it's got a clean line there, straight edge.
Okay, and then these measuring devices that we see in these photographs, does that help us give an idea as to how long a particular wound might be?
Yes.
Okay. 154.
Showing the sharp force injury that's like right above the clavicle on the left.
One thing I want to have you point out in this particular photo, Dr. Ignacio, is there's a blurred area on this particular photo. Has that been altered?
Yes.
Does that just, if it had been unblurred, would show the victim's face?
Yes.
And is this just to be more sensitive to the victim and potentially the jurors as we're watching this or looking at these?
Yes.
155.
This just shows you a close-up view of the same one that was above the clavicle, left clavicle.
And this one again looks almost roundish. How can you tell and how can we understand this to be a sharp force injury as well?
The edges are clean and straight. It's not jagged. And the wound that was in the muscle was also straight.
Okay. 156.
This one shows you another sharp force injury in the left upper arm that's near the armpit right there.
And 157.
And this is a close-up view.
So now that we've seen several of these sharp force injuries where they're almost pulled open and in a rounded appearance, is that basically what you testified to earlier, that as the skin is shrinking and pulling away, that it pulls the wound open more than it would have if we were close in time to when these injuries occurred?
Yes.
Okay. 158.
Here's another sharp force injury on the left wrist region.
And this one we can now see must have been taken before the clothing was taken off the body. You can see some of the clothing that the victim was wearing. Is that likely what the person was wearing when they died?
Yes.
How can you tell that?
because of all the fluids, decomposition fluids, the coloring, the clothing.
We had a crime scene technician from Santa Rosa testify late last week that also testified that there were defects in the clothing indicating that there were these slices or sharp object cuts into the fabric that coincided with the injuries we see on the body. Did you notice that as well?
Yes.
Okay. 159.
159 is a close-up view of the wound on the left upper arm, like near the axilla.
Okay. In all of these injuries that we're looking at, are all of those injuries marked on that body diagram that you have up on the easel there, which
Yes.
is 144?
Yes.
Okay. We could go to 161. Is that right? 160, my apologies. What are we looking at in 160?
So this is a photograph of the left hand, and there's it kind of covers, the ruler covers it, but there's another cut here. Sharp force injury.
Then moving on to 161.
The cuts on his hands, I know a lot of people got out, and I don't blame you because this is really tough. It's because he fought back. Gannon was a little over a pound when he was born. He fought to come into this world, and he fought so she wouldn't take him out. He knew what was going on. He knew he was being murdered, and he fought her. 11 years old. He had defensive wounds.
And this is the right hand, the back of the right hand. And you can see here that you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 wounds here. And you can see like the edges are clean cut caused by a sharp object.
When we're looking at these in conjunction with the last photo of the arm and then this one here with hands, when we're talking about cuts to the hands in the forearm areas of Gannon Stauch, how would you characterize those types of wounds?
They're consistent with defensive wounds,
Okay.
trying to protect yourself.
Indicating that potentially Gannon was putting his hands up to guard against whatever was happening?
Yes.
And then they get cut in the process of that?
Yes.
Okay. 162, please.
This one shows, excuse me, this one shows the right hand, like the palmar aspect of the right hand. And this is another cut in the middle finger, right middle finger.
163.
Same photo right there.
Okay, and this is
This
just
is the ring finger.
right.
This is the, oh, sorry. No, sorry, that's the middle finger and the ring fingers right here.
Okay, and then you're just pulling the fingertip back to be able to see that particular cut on, more towards the, I guess, the pad of the fingertip.
Yes.
164, please.
So we're looking at his back, and there's a sharp force injury on the left upper back, right there.
This sharp force injury to the upper back, was this one of the deeper sharp force injuries that you were able to document that Gannon suffered?
Yes, it fractured the left sixth rib, and it also penetrated the left fifth intercostal space. So that's the space between the fifth and sixth ribs.
Does that then cause, I guess, entry into, I guess, the back side of the chest cavity? Does it go that deep?
Yes, it does enter the chest cavity.
165.
And that's a close-up view of the back injury.
Again, is this a sharp force injury similar to the other sharp force injuries we've been looking at this morning?
Yes.
166.
So there's another sharp force injury here. Another one here.
Would this be essentially the backside of Gannon's left shoulder?
Yes. So this wound ended in the scapula. It hit the bone here, so it just went through the bone, the shoulder blade. And then this one went deeper into the shoulder joint, the left shoulder joint, about 4 inches deep.
4 inches deep, you said?
Yes.
167, please. This is a close-up of that more shallow injury, and then the other deeper one is apparent sort of to the left of that.
Yes.
There appears to be some black fiber there. Can you tell the jury what that is?
It could be from his jacket or t-shirt.
So basically fibers from clothing.
Yes.
Is it common for fibers from clothing to get caught up in wounds when there's these sharp force injuries that travel from outside of clothing through the clothing and into the body?
Yes.
168.
This is another view of the top of the shoulder where you can see the injury that went into the shoulder joint.
169.
That's a close-up view. And you know that it's a sharp force injury because it's got clean edges here.
So when you're pointing at those, what you call clean edges, to me, it doesn't necessarily look that way, but I'm not in your shoes with your expertise. Those edges that you're pointing at, is that where the skin would have met before being sliced open?
Yes, this is fat, subcutaneous tissue underneath the skin. So these are the skin edges, but they just like, stretched and separated. But this is where it was cut.
And is this that deeper injury that you mentioned just a moment ago?
Yes.
To the basically the top, maybe backish part of his left shoulder.
It entered the shoulder joint.
Okay. 170.
This one is a blurred photo of another sharp force injury on the left forearm.
The inside of the left forearm.
Yes.
And then this one also has a blurred area sort of in the groin area. Do you see that?
Yes.
Is that blurred out just for sensitivity's sake?
Yes.
Okay. 171.
And that's a close-up view. So you can see it's got another sharp edge and you've just got tissue that's coming out from the wound, but that's the cut edge right here.
Okay. And this is on the, what I would describe as inside of the left wrist, is that right?
Yes.
Or forearm area?
Yes.
172. What are we looking at in 172?
So this is the head and you're looking at the left side, the ear is right here. So there's a cut right in the posterior or the back part of the ear on the scalp.
173.
And a close-up view, the cut.
Let's talk, since we're now seeing for the first time head injuries. Can you tell the jury, just so that we're all clear, do head injuries have a tendency to bleed heavier than other types of injuries that a human could sustain?
Yes, there's a lot of blood vessels in the scalp.
And does that cause more bloodletting, potentially staining of scenes where blood is coming out of a person?
Yes.
174.
We're looking at the right side of the head and we're trying to show, this time it's a laceration. It's not caused by a sharp object. It's caused by a blunt object. So we call them lacerations because it's so hard to see because it's decomposed, but the edges are jagged and underneath the skin, you can still see what they call tissue bridging. That means it wasn't completely cut. Like with a knife, you can completely cut the skin and the subcutaneous tissue, but with blunt trauma, with a blunt object, you may still see some tissue that's not separated yet. So this is a laceration on the right temporal region.
So would this be basically right side of the head towards almost a little bit to the back of the head there?
Yes, the ear is right here, right ear, and then you can see that there's a wound here.
Okay. 175.
And here you can see the wound. I don't know if you can see it, but that's the wound right here. And you can see like the edges are not like a knife wound.
So these injuries, as you look at them as the expert in this, the edges are different to you from what we've seen before from the sharp force injuries.
Yes.
And then when we talk about a blunt force injury like this, what kind of things can cause a blunt force injury like these?
Any blunt object like a bat, piece of wood, hammer.
Could even the butt of a gun?
Yes.
Whew. And there it is. She goes into further detail, which we don't need to go through all of that. Those are his injuries. Blunt force, stabbed, shot, drugged, beaten. All of this went down in one afternoon, according to the evidence. All of this, except the pill, of course, because it had been in his system. Or however much she gave him, I don't know. Burnt. He was burnt the night before. Yeah. His hands, when I see his hands on the screen, he was fighting back. You know how mad that made her? She's horrible. Horrible. And we're only 2 weeks in to this monstrosity. I think when it gets to the defensive side and they're just trying to tell us how crazy she is, I think I'm just going to do like recaps of all that. So once we get through the states, then from there we'll just do recaps. But you guys let me know what you want to do. But thank you for being here for this recap. Thank you for all the support of this channel, the super stickers. Thank you for the gifted memberships. You guys are too good to me. You're too good to this channel. And the way you advocate for victims. No other channel does it like this. No other channel. None. You guys are the absolute best. Not everybody can come together when it's a trial and go through all this and not have a problem. You guys are the best. I will see you back here tomorrow morning. We're going to do a weekend review because we're not just covering Gannon. We have other cases going on. Going to talk about Trent. There's a woman missing in Minnesota we're going to talk about. We're going to touch on Gannon. And then, of course, we're going to go into the trial. Much love to you all. Thank you for being such great friends. And I'll see you back here tomorrow. You are the best.